Hi, it's me, the autistic Gen Xer with anxiety and depression. Some call me Tim. Before I get going with today's wonderful story, if you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, hype up the video, let other people know, share it so I can share these stories with others and maybe, bring a little happiness to people. The sad, depression videos and the silly, ridiculous political videos, they're not fun. But videos like this, I don't know how it's going to go, but I imagine it's going to be a good time. So I didn't really feel like doing this video today, but I've been following this new mantra about creativity, which is you aren't ever in the mood. You're not going to be in the mood. And if you wait until you're in the mood, you'll be dead, right? So instead, you just do it. Just do 15 minutes. And I end up mostly just continuing. I start 15 minutes and then I get into it. I get in the mood after I start doing it, not before. I start doing it and remember all of the cool stuff that I was trying to do. And that gets me going. It's the same with this. I didn't feel like doing a video. As soon as I start talking now, I think I'm getting in the mood. And here we go. I wanted to talk about paper routes in the 80s. As a Gen Xer, there was child slave labor when I was a kid. So it's nothing like it is now. I mean, I remember when one of my daughters tried to get a job and they were like, yeah, we don't hire anybody who isn't 18. I was like, how the hell are kids supposed to get job and life experience? But nobody gets papers now anyway. So you probably have no idea how it worked. But the way it worked was like this. After school, a truck would drive around and drop stacks of paper in front of your house. On the weekends, they would drop stacks of paper in front of your house at like 4 a.m. So you'd get home from school, you'd pull the papers into your house, and then you had to fold them yourself, rubber band them. If it was raining outside, you had to plastic bag them. Then you had these two big like white cloth canvas bags that went on the front of your bike. You'd load the papers into that. You'd ride off, and then you just had to know which houses, and you after a while you memorized it. You knew which houses, and you get really good. You just toss, and I mean I was like probably 90% on the porch with my aim. I did actually 2 paper routes, so I would go and do one and come back and go and do the other and come back. On Wednesdays, I remember were ad days, and man, and just like Sundays, the papers were thick. Some days I couldn't even get all of the papers from a single route into the bike. So I'd have to do multiple trips. It wasn't very far. I mean, it was like a couple blocks down and then that whole neighborhood area. But then on the weekends, one of the things that made me stop doing it was that I just didn't get up early enough, and I actually had guys standing out on their porch, sipping a cup of coffee, yelling at me because I wasn't fast enough and making me feel like, a terrible person. Like you're yelling at a 10-year-old. Guess who's the terrible person in this situation, right? It isn't me who's trying to learn a work ethics. It's you. But, I earned money. And I loved it, except then there was the part where you had to go collecting. This was where they lost me because, I'm small, I'm autistic, I'm embarrassed, I can't make phone calls. And now I have to go door to door to everywhere that I deliver, knock on the door and say, hi, collecting, and get money from them. Nope, I was out. I did it a couple times, and then I don't remember when it was. It was like every 3 months or something. It wasn't all the time. I could go a long time, but then I had to do the collection for the paper route, and it was like, never mind, I can't do this. One of the reasons why I decided I can't do this anymore, there was this one house, and it had this girl from my class that lived there. The second time I went around doing the collecting, they invited me in. she answered the door. She invited me in and introduced me to her parents. Okay, I have no idea what's happening right now. Obviously, she's trying to court me and get me to marry her. I don't know what she was thinking. It was like, I'm in love with the paper boy. Some classic movie trope from the 60s. I don't know. But I wasn't having any part of it because I didn't even know what was happening. I am just a dumb little kid in my autism world, like, ah. So I figured it out like the next day at school, or, the following Monday at school, when she started following me around and telling me that she loved me and wanted to be my girlfriend. And she was like, like that meme with the crazy girlfriend. She was like that, but she was probably 10, and she was like a tomboy, dirty blonde hair. And I had no interest in girls at that age. I was playing a He-Man and G.I. Joe, like in the backyard. I don't care about girls. I don't know why, why. But she would not leave me alone. The way that some guys are creepy and stalk women, she was creepy and stalked me, and it made me very uncomfortable. It was towards Christmas, and I remember we were talking about our Christmas decorations and what our dads would put up and stuff. And my dad had put up this, I don't know, he built this like huge, like Christmas star, and it was in blue lights, and he built like he was a very handy guy. He worked in a machine shop. He would fix cars. He would just build everything from hand. He built this like treehouse mansion for me, so he's a very handy guy. He was getting into some kind of contest with the neighbors where he had to make his star go higher than the neighbor's star. And I swear to God, it must have went two more stories up. It was huge. You could see it from everywhere. And so then I was talking to my buddies, and of course the crazy girl is like hovering around behind a tree, like listening into our conversations. And so I said, "Oh yeah, my dad has this big blue star that's up," and my dad this and that, and that was it. And then after the conversation, the crazy girl came up and she went, "You're in that house? You have that blue star in your house?" I said, "Yes." And she looked at me and she goes, "Oh, I know where you live." I mean, I was kind of terrified. And I was definitely terrified to go back to that house and do the collecting. And I quit my paper route because of the crazy girl. It was like, I'm out. I don't need money. Forget it. I'll figure out something else. I'll just sit in my house and be poor. It's not worth going out and talking to people. Like, I just can't do this. The 80s was a wild time, man. After that, I would go help my mom at her work. She worked at a print shop, and do slave labor there. And my grandma also worked there. So like during the summers, me and my grandma would be hanging out in the back, collating, folding, cutting, stapling, stitching, gluing, packing, shrink wrapping. There was like a billion things that you had to do. And, it was fun. Me and my grandma bonded quite a lot with that. We'd listen to music and we'd chat and we'd just sit there and do the stuff. And I mean, it was like 8 hours a day of folding. Sometimes a job would come in with, 20,000 booklets that needed to be collated, folded, stapled, cut, packaged, shrink wrapped, labeled, it would take a week. You spend a week on just this one job. Sorry for the shaky camera. My cats are having a moment. But yeah, the slave labor was real in the 80s. So, I hope you enjoyed the story. I think about it all the time. Still, I don't think I'll ever get over the crazy girl. And I often wonder what would have happened if I had shown any interest at all. I might not be here today. I may be locked up in a basement somewhere. I don't know. Do all the things for the algorithm. Please, it helps the video. I've been doing this for a while. I got almost 100 videos, and I was expecting more subscribers than this. But hey, this is the way YouTube is in 2026. So what are you going to do? Until next time, peace.